Assalamualaikum everyone. It is I, Arif Khan, back again, back from my trip, ready to do this podcast thing. I was gone for a while, but missed most of the games, but hopefully we can still chat about it. And who do I have today to help us out here? Let's see who's in the green room here. Let's roll the dice and see who shows up. Ha! We have the Maju, Mr. Maju. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, not much. Again, unfortunately, having to deal with some technical issues, but let's see
What?
if my phone wants to cooperate. It just shut down on me. But I,
Always technical difficulties, eh?
Abe yaar, I just have to use my phone from 20 years ago. It's okay.
All right, no problem. While you're doing that, we can say salam to my brother, Mr. Rexdale Royalty himself. Walaikum salam, bro. Good to see you. Right. We got
Oh man,
Mr.
I
Ahmed
gotta
Mobeen
I gotta face off against
Ibrahim.
Rexdale Royalty.
We got Habibi in the house. Assalamu alaikum. Happy Shisha, buddy. Who else we got here? Let's see. Let's go to this room. We've only got two people so far. That's all right. We'll have more joining. So what did I miss, Maju?
It was honestly it was a really exciting well 4 games that we had. So I think you missed out on a lot. To just
Yeah.
just jet setting across the world.
Oh well, I mean, there's always more hockey to be played, at least for some of us. Yourself. So let's see what's on the docket here today. Let's get back to our normal groove here. All right, so today we're gonna be. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's like some little stuff. So we're gonna look at last week's games: Haya versus Yakin, Ikhlas versus Rida. We'll do a little season cap as well, followed by some championship previews, and then we're going to reveal the new GMs for the summer. So that should be fun.
Yep, no doubt.
All right, so let's get cracking on this. So what do we got? So first of all, some unfinished business. Our sponsor, Stone Valley Countertops. We have the Stone Valley Countertop Player of the Week. So we missed 2 weeks. We mentioned them, but we just didn't have a poster. So going back a few weeks, we have Mohammed Yusuf Chaudhry, more lovingly known as Mr. MYC. He had one heck of a performance that week with 4 goals. I think we spoke about it. It was 4 really, really good goals. So congratulations. I have the wrong jersey here, but that's okay. And then the one after, we had my buddy Yusuf Ingar, Yusi with 3 goals, 5 assists. So like a crazy, crazy performance there. So congratulations, Yusuf. I think that was his second or third one of the season too.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah,
he's been playing phenomenal as of late. Just we could talk about it a little bit more a little bit later, but like it's
yeah,
kind of disappointing his season had to end. But mashallah, his he played well and he was formidable in taking his team pretty
yeah.
far.
I mean, dude's a gamer, man. He's a game breaker for sure. So
Yeah.
he well deserved for that Powell. So I don't know how much useful I'll be to recap the finals, Maju. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. I was chilling on the beach, working on my tan as if I needed it. But meanwhile, I think you had to go to work. So the first game was Yakin versus Haya, and this was going to be a tough game, but the score shows 5-2. What am I missing here?
So what you're not seeing is the empty net goal, basically. So it
Ah,
was
okay.
pretty tight as it went through. You can see that like who's representative on the 3 stars. Even we have not our typical first line goal scorer. We have but Ahmed Mobeen came up with a 2 goal performance.
I thought
Um,
this was a mistake when I first saw it, but hey, Mobeen, man. I mean, those hospital shoes are doing well for you, buddy. First start. Good job.
Yeah, and we talked about getting secondary and tertiary scoring, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what Haya came. Sorry, what that's what Yakin came out with.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're big guys. The line one helped in getting it, like also putting them on the board. But
Mhm.
Ahmed Mobeen pocketing 2 really takes the pressure
Nice.
off. And until the final minutes, it was still only 4-2. So again, the score is not so indicative of how tough the game was, how hard fought every single inch um, of real estate was.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see that with the second score as well, that it got a little bit closer. But
Mhm.
you had Hussein Malik. I think he scored both goals for Haya in game one, and no team was willing to budge.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to start off with this. I think Haya kind of started off on the back foot with a weird bounce. I think Sadat was trying to clear it off the boards, and it's this was it the Joe Louis Arena boards where it just took a weird bounce and went right to Yakin's players that got them the early goal. So
Yeah.
really put Haya on the back foot, and I think they never fully recovered. But regardless of that, they kept it close. They were fighting for everything through game
Nice.
one.
Well, I'll say what Mobeen has always told us in our chat groups and stuff, that you need to roll the lines, because especially with teams like yours where you have a really, really like top tier first line, in the playoffs they're going to be shadowed, they're going to be checked hard. So it really comes down to the second line coming in, putting up a score, but also just giving the first line some breathing room.
Yeah, most definitely. And no, like, just a complete shout out to Haya as well. We had
Yeah.
Asif Bika, who was shooting from everywhere and making life difficult for me, but I
Yeah.
think they definitely missed the presence of Hamoudi.
Right. Oh, he wasn't there for both games?
Yeah, for both games.
Oh wow, that's massive. Yeah. That's a big player loss, literally and figuratively. I mean, here I guess the second game 4-3 score. I don't know if there was a empty netter here, but the Stars, you had Hamza and Abrar on the board as usual, and Akib being a first star in a playoff game. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, his skills just kind of were very much on display in game two. He was, and to be fair, what you don't see in the scoreboard here is the intangibles that Rizwan Malik brought to the game.
Mm-hmm.
The first goal they scored was, it's one of those things where coaches say just shoot, just throw the ball at the net, just go for it. That's exactly what Akib did. And no disrespect to Akib, it was a good shot, but I couldn't see anything because, of course, I had Rizwan going across the front. So a big body like Riz and his active stick as well, but it found the back of the net. So I tried to keep the team in there. It was definitely a hard fought game both ways.
Yeah.
But Akib scored, I believe, 2 goals in that game. And again, I don't know if Akib is their first line in that, but you know what? With Haya, you don't really have a first or a second line. You just have a team that hustles through and through. So
swarm after swarm.
Swarm after swarm. I believe Haya did, there was a lot of back to back. Like, hey, Haya scored one, then Yakin came back. Haya scored another, Yakin came back. So we were more on the back foot for this game. And Haya had their chances, but and I will say this because my GM said, Maju, stop being so nice and just say, yeah, you were able to steal the game. But so I'll say it. Yeah, I made some key saves that where it was able to keep us in it. But Haya just played amazing, and Khalid Mufti too. He's just phenomenal player, and like I said, just got better as the game progressed. But just those weird goals, right?
I know you can't and you won't toot your own horn here, but having had the privilege of playing with you on a championship team, I can say, mashallah, you are a gamer when it comes to the playoffs, regardless of how up and down your regular season might sometimes be. But I think in the playoffs, especially in the shootouts and stuff, you're king out there. So yeah, congratulations to both goalies, yourself and Mufti as well.
Yeah, and again, just Mufti played amazing, and I do have my championship summer jersey on.
I was gonna ask, what the hell are you wearing? Are you like wearing like a Japanese robe? Like, stick your arms out. Let's see. Flap. Wow. Okay, don't flap too hard. You're gonna fly away.
Yeah, but I do have the summer, to try to invoke the championship season back with the same GM, or similar GMs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was in Sabra. I should have worn mine, but it didn't do much use here right now. So, on to the second game. You had Ikhlas versus Rida. Both of them two very strong teams. Ikhlas obviously taking my team out earlier in the other week. So, I mean, you got Hamdani as the first star, so I don't see how that's a surprise. But yeah, did you stick around to watch this game? What happened?
Yeah, this game one was in between my games, so I was able
Right.
to catch most of it. But um, excuse me, but Hamdani was Hamdani. Rida really tried to give him barely any, like they tried to minimize the amount of space possible.
Yeah.
But with Hamdani, you have to get in his face, you have to challenge him, and you cannot just let him even get a millimeter. And
Hmm.
he just proved how deadly of a player he was by just getting the ball in the high slot, made a one or two moves, and then just roofed it on the goalie. And again, he picked the corner or the spot that's one of the most difficult spots for a goalie to stop, is like
Yeah.
right between the helmets. So like right
Good to
beside the
know.
helmet,
Good to
sorry.
know.
If you didn't, then you shouldn't be playing hockey.
Well, let's just say you goalie should use your head a bit more.
Oh man, I think I remember blocking the shot, blocking who was
Yeah,
it?
actually, you should not be using your head because I still saw that ruptured eardrum that you showed me. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that was what of a Sani shot, right?
so, yeah, Farouk Sani shot. Yeah,
Farouk, man. All right. Rexdale Royalty was saying he ruined my shout out with 3 seconds left. I'm assuming it was Mohammed Patel. I don't know.
yeah, I believe so. To be honest, I was getting ready at that point too. I
Sure, I
was just
guess.
trying to
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
on,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know what happened. Rexdale, if you want to kind of Imran, if you want to clue us in a little bit as to exactly what happened, was it just one of those flukers, or were you kind of like out of the mindset of like, yep, I got the W and I'm moving on? So, but yeah, but like it was a tremendous back and forth game, and you can see that in the second game as well, where it was a 5-4 score.
Mm.
I do have to say one thing. I believe at one point Rida was up 4-1,
Yeah.
and Ikhlas just wouldn't give up. They kept fighting back, and for the majority of the second period, Rida was trapped in their own end. And I think ultimately, yes, they got the win for that game, but it
Yeah.
just tired them out so much um, that they just. I personally believe that they just couldn't really last in the overtime.
Hmm.
Looks like Rexdale just put something in the chat. So hard to figure out if you should conserve your energy at the first game or go all out in the second. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. You just wish and pray that you have something left in the tank, especially with the heat.
I'm of the opinion that you go all out. I mean, it's a playoff game. It's an elimination game. There's no point holding back unless you know for sure that you're losing the first game. And it's out of reach. Okay, then maybe you take your pedal off the gas a little bit. But
Hmm.
even then, I'm I guess maybe it's just me. Like when it comes to playoffs, I don't let up. I just go all the way.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. But to be quite honest, it's a different entity when you're a goalie, and with the heat,
True.
right? You're trying to survive. You're trying to get through. You're hoping that in that in between game or the in between time, you're going to be able to catch your breath enough
Mhm.
and feel better. But you don't know how you're going to be able to perform. So if you go all out game one, what do you have in the tank? Alhamdulillah, I've been trying to play my best and just push through regardless. So, inshallah, that reaps rewards and performance as well. But excuse me. But yeah, I do understand where Imran Alvi is coming from on just it. And I think Imran might have just gotten to his head a little bit too much, just
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
overthinking it.
All right. So game two, Rida gets it. Therefore, there's a
Yeah.
tie. It goes into overtime, and I mean, obviously, Ikhlas scores it. I think I saw the game winner. Was it Osman Butter that did that? Yeah.
Yep. None better than the butter. Again, like Munawar, he didn't have enough, like he didn't have a lot of time. The ball wasn't on his stick for that long. He
Yeah.
just got it back front, wristed it off. I honestly don't even know if Yusuf Kapoor saw it,
Yeah.
but Yusuf, to his credit, he kept Rida in the first game, the second game. He kept him in through and through. He weathered the storm. Yusuf, please don't beat yourself up if you're still doing it. Like you got to just forget, move on. You played an
Yeah.
amazing game, and it was
He
just
had a great season. Like
yeah,
remember what
best goalie.
best goalie of the year and stuff. So mashallah, he had quite the season. I'm sure he would have wanted to go further, but regardless, I think it was a W season for him.
Yeah, most definitely. He's got nothing but upside and potential.
Okay. So before we go to the final preview, since there's only two teams playing, we still have the arena for the entire night. So Friday at 9 p.m., we're going to have a pickup session. If you haven't registered for it, you can register, and you need to pay your $5 registration fee. Until you've paid it, you're not considered as registered. So you can submit the form as many times as you want, but the only thing that matters is straight out cash. So register, put your money in, and then come shoot around, and then stick around for the finals, because it's gonna be a doozy.
Yep.
And speaking of which, here are the two teams battling it out in the finals, and I don't think it's a huge surprise. I believe in the beginning of the season, this is what we had called out: Ikhlas versus Yakin. So Maju, you're going to the finals again. How are you feeling about that?
Excited, just waiting for the ball to drop. I know Ikhlas has just a phenomenal array of forwards, and
Yeah.
even in the game we played against them, they were able to hem us in our zone for a little bit, but we did the same to them. So I think Imran Alvi and I are definitely gonna be worked to our limits,
Yeah.
and same thing just all around. I think all players on both teams are really going to have to give it their all, and just like you said, and like Ahmed Mobeen has said multiple times, you need to just keep rotating your lines, keep everyone fresh, keep everyone going, and it's definitely going to be a doozy, a barn burner, whatever you want to call it. I think we're going to burn the hangar down.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one for sure. What's Habibi saying? Should be a great matchup for sure. Yeah, so 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock are the games, and in the middle there's going to be a 9 o'clock pickup, and then after that, obviously award ceremonies, pictures, etc., etc. So if you guys can come and stick around and watch, that'll be great. And I think somebody was mentioning earlier on that two players in this game have never won an Ice Slam championship, and they've been playing for a very long time. So one of them is about to pop their cherry. Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Mr. Osman Butter? Apparently, he has never won an Ice Slam trophy. I find that very hard to believe. If Osman, you're there, you can let us know. And the other one is our good friend, Mr. EBP, Irfan Banapatel. Mr. Rookie of the Year when he started Ice Slam, but he has yet to win a chip.
Yeah, definitely two stunners for sure. Like I would have imagined by now, Irfan or Usman would have won a championship by now. It's
Yeah.
just it's almost ludicrous to think like we had to go into the archives to figure this out. Like realistically, just rookie of the year doesn't win, doesn't take his team, or what happened? Where did things go wrong? But just doing our research, our media team was really like furiously going through but yeah, anyways, the records to figure this out. And yeah, I don't think we have the picture handy for Irfan Banapatel of how young he looked when he entered the league, but you can definitely see his old hair showing up now.
I'm trying to look for it if we have it. Do you remember which chat group was it in our podcast one?
I think
Oh, I found it.
Okay, perfect.
I found it. Let's see if I can make this happen real quick. Sorry, guys. Excuse me while I look to the side here.
But funny enough, you do see Usman, who's kind of skipping, look almost in the picture right now. So, is he thinking, dreaming of big dreams, getting to the championship? And we have, of course, oh my God, Umar. Yeah, Omar Mahmoud. There we go. I'm just blanking on names now.
All right,
What the
here.
heck's going on?
I got the picture here. So there is baby EVP. Look at this guy. Looks like a little kid. I remember that one. Yeah, so there he is. This is, I think, when we used to play at Mississauga at the Rinks. No, not Rink City. What we call Rinks or Rink City? I forget.
Ring City.
Yeah. So I think he won there. So look at all that joy in his eyes and face, like such a wonderful career ahead. Soon to win multiple chips, but he didn't win any. But that could very well be changed here. I mean, he's got a good chance to do this. So good luck to him.
Yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
all right. So let's move on to our next one. Oh, maybe I jumped a little quick. So let me just give a quick preview of what this is about. So the next one is what we're going to talk about is the GMs for next summer season or this upcoming summer season. Right. So the first team representing Iman will be Mohammed Hamoud and Muhib Shah. So I was a little surprised at this pairing because I don't. I mean, as players, it makes sense. I don't know if they had past experience playing together or they're friends off the ice. But what do you think of this combo?
I think Muhib. I think right now he's just trying to collect all the jerseys. He was on blue. Now he's this season he's on red. Now he's going to orange.
Yeah,
Sorry, not orange. Purple.
yeah.
But he's trying to collect the jerseys right now. But regardless, I think there's great talent. Right. Both are very good forwards.
Mhm.
Muhib brings a lot of youthfulness and a lot of scouting in his game. So I think Hamoud will know the older players, whereas Muhib will know the younger players. So I
That's
think
true.
they might have a little bit
That's a
of an
good point.
advantage in the scouting.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a
So
really good point, as because so they cover the old and the new. Um, yeah, good point there.
yeah, so they might have a bit of an advantage even over the seasonal GMs that we continue to have.
Yeah. And in terms of players, I mean, there's two-thirds of your first line right there, or possibly two centers on two different lines, right?
Yeah, Hamoud can play Mohammed like Hamoud can play defense, but
Yeah, he's a
for
better.
most,
Yeah,
yeah, he's been playing amazing forward. So why mess with a good thing?
yep. All right. The next team is Ihsan, and here we have another return. David Chiamber or Daoud Chiamber. I don't know, David, if we have your spelling right. I know we always struggle with that. And Mohamed Kesentini. So they are the winners from last summer. So I think they're trying to do a repeat of the summer.
Correct me, but didn't Haya win that summer with Casentini on their team?
Did they?
I believe he was on Haya, and that's where I kind of made a comment
Okay,
of like,
maybe.
who's Casentini?
I just remember Mo winning, but Mohammed and no Mohammed and Daoud, they were on the same team, weren't they? All right, someone has
I
to look
think
up.
the following season. Yeah, someone needs to look this
Someone has to
up.
look at the archives because I think they were on Orange and they won that season. It's easy enough to find, but again, both of these guys they played together, both in Iceland with success, and they've played, I think, ice hockey also outside. They're good friends, so this makes the perfect combination. And I would say any team that gets to play with them, sorry, any player that gets to play with these guys, they're gonna enjoy it because they're both fantastic guys and really good GMs.
Yeah, definitely. We know Dawood can play forward and defense.
Mhm.
Mo Casentini pretty much plays forward, and he's really good at it. So why mess with the good thing? But I think this way you have the ability. Again, you have the same kind of concept. You have two players that can play in the first line, or if Dawood needs to drop back and he doesn't have enough D, he can play back, and he can still be the general from the
Well,
back end. So
I would say they should put both of them together because they have a really good chemistry, and through the draft they can just draft good defensemen and maybe secondary scoring. That might be a better way.
yeah,
But
that's for sure.
yeah, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I mean, that's for the draft podcast. Speaking of podcasts, this is, I guess, our last one of the season. But I think we're probably going to come back for the draft one, I would assume. Okay, Ikhlas, we have Abdullah Patel, current Ikhlas team member, and Adnan Gangat. So how's this one pairing up?
Definitely on a different level,
Mhm.
and by no means is that bad.
Yeah,
So Abdullah, he's a seasoned veteran of well, being a GM. He came into the league a few seasons ago, kind of was the shadow GM. Has now made a name for wheeling and dealing as well, and trying to get RF to be traded onto his team.
he can't get me this year.
And Adnan Gangat, he played I believe it was the last summer season of the season before that, but blistering shot,
Yeah,
really forward heavy presence, and definitely can shoot and score from almost anywhere on the ice.
yeah.
So definitely someone to watch out for. So I think you know. The GM pair will rely on Abdullah's expertise to be able to
Yeah,
draft
yeah.
players, but then Adnan will just try to work his team and get them to a next level.
You know what? I like seeing this because now you have the younger guys stepping up into GM roles. As we saw, Muhib, he's done a couple of them. Now Abdullah finally getting out of the shadows, and he'll be a legitimate GM who he can actually make the calls that he needs to. So I think he's looking forward to that. So yeah, this should be an interesting one as well. The next one, okay, so you have Hamza Abdullahi and Hashim Chaudhry. So these guys, I think they're trying to recreate their brotherhood team that they play at Stephen Leacock on Wednesdays. I actually play in that league, so we are always facing this duo plus their other team mates. I believe Hamza is the captain of that team, and honestly, he's been doing a really good job in that league where he brought in a team that was sort of, not the best, I would say. I mean, they had a lot of good players, but they didn't have a lot of success. But in the last few seasons, they've really stepped it up. So if Hamza can do the same thing in Iceland, this is going to be very interesting.
Now, keeping in mind this is going to be a shorter season, or at least not like a dynasty team where you can
No.
keep working players. So I think Abdul Hamza, just being such a great person he is, um, might have to put like that senior leadership hat on and make those tough calls, and picking the right players, maybe not players that have the potential but
Yeah.
are good right now. But this is our first GM pairing that has a forward and a D man.
Hmm.
So we have the wealth being spread out, and Hamza, again, co-brotherhood award winner, um, knows the players. He's been kind of working the game. He knows who's who by now, and he's going to be able to at least
Yeah.
draft well. Hashim, again, big defensive presence. He
So
knows what he wants on the back end. So
that I know we keep talking about Hashim as a defenseman, because that's what we've always seen him in Iceland. But in the other league, he plays forward. He plays center, and he actually plays, in my opinion,
oh
he
wow.
plays better as a forward than he plays D. Um, Unfortunately,
Okay, so we might see.
there has been a lot of lapses on D for him. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, not to pick on him or anything, but
Mhm.
in my opinion, he plays better forward. So if that's something they're considering, this could also be another, duo forward line. And also to finish off with Hamza, my point of telling the whole brotherhood story is the fact that he's learned lessons on how to build and select good players. So those skills are
Okay.
transferable. So and now having been in this league a few seasons, he's gotten to know some of the players. I'm
Yeah.
going to be I'm going to go on a limb and say he will draft well based on who's in the draft. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of team these guys build.
Yeah, he may not be a Burke kind of a GM,
Yeah.
but he definitely won't be a Kyle Dubas. But yeah.
Don't even get me started. I've done enough left leaf picking. What does Abdullah have to say here? Underrated GM pair. Summer season is gonna rely. So first of all, the chats are a little bit delayed. So when you say underrated GM pair, I don't know whom you refer to. I will say maybe yourselves, and if that is, sure, underrated. But I think you guys will do good. And the last pair. So this is going to be a fun one. Yakin uh, will take the mantle. Will have their mantle taken by Hood Khan Mr. Hutrick himself, and Ahmed Khalid, aka Junior Matthews. So you have two young guys. Again, I'm happy that the young guys are stepping up, but this is a head scratcher. I mean, if both of these guys, they're very tunnel vision when they get the ball. So how are they going to pass to each other? What's going on here?
Yeah, this is a bit of a head scratcher, right? They may have a lot of chemistry off. They might have been playing in another league.
Sure.
I don't know exactly, but it is a little bit of a head scratcher just because you have two players that are very, very heavy forward minded. They do have the talent, right? I think Hood still is developing, but he's got the youthfulness. He might know a lot more players and who he can work with. But they could also be one of those GMs that just come out of the blue, know who they're picking, how they're going, and they have a plan of attack. So, no one should be counting them out just yet. We need to really see what happens on draft day, draft night. Maybe Ahmed Khalid is going to start pulling some of these, Leaf GM tricks that I'm going to retain this salary and move this guy and this draft pick. Sorry, we can't do all of that, but so Ahmed, your hands might be tied, but I'm actually excited to see what they bring to the court. They're going to bring to the game.
Well, I'm hoping, at least for Ahmed, because I love the little guy. I played several seasons with him, including his first one. He's one of the most arduous players to play against. He doesn't let up, right? If he's forechecking you, he will be on you like white on rice, right? So, but he's also hot-tempered. He takes a lot of penalties, gets kicked out of games. So maybe being in a position of leadership, I'm hoping, adds a layer of maturity to his game. Because once Ahmed learns to be a little bit more controlling of his energies and temper, that's the next level for him. So I'm actually excited for him and Hood that after the summer, inshallah, when they come back the season after, whether they're GMs or just players in the pool, I think you will see much, much more well-rounded and better players.
Yep, Ahmed, if you know what's good for you, you better pick up Zuhair Fancy. That's all I gotta say.
They might get into a tussle in the locker room.
Or you know what? They could drive each other to be even better teammates, right? Like sometimes you see these weird friendships come together, and it happens. So
yeah, like Faisal and Hamza Gaya.
Well, father and son duo, you mean?
yeah, Luke and Darth, right there. Anyways, all right. So I think that's all the slides we had for today. Habibi saying, well said. Maturity will be key. So that's the thing. Like, I think some of the younger teams or younger GM pairs, they should try to draft a couple of veterans to bring some stability, and some of the veteran pairs should bring some youth infusion into their team. So, anyways, it's all about balance. We'll see what happens there. As for this week, Maju, best of luck in your game, and see you when we see you. Any last minute thoughts before we head out?
No, nothing much. Abdullah's saying about the Hayat GMs, so I wonder if we are missing a team, but we'll see, inshallah.
He has a point because I think there was, I think I saw Luke and Akib as a GM pair, and I didn't see it in the slide, so maybe we might have missed that. But I think Luke and Akib have also signed up to be GMs. And if that's the case, okay. There's nothing else to be said. We know exactly what they bring. We talk about them all the time. So yeah, it should be a fun season. I won't see you guys this summer for the first time in a very long time. I'm actually taking an Ice Slam season off. I want to enjoy the summer a little bit, but I'll pass by from time to time, and you and I can sit on that ledge and make troll comments all night.
Sounds good, brother. It's gonna be a different season without you.
All good. So again, best of luck on Friday. For you and also my boy Imran. I hope he also gets a crack at it. So two good friends. I can't go for one over the other, but I can wish you both the best of luck and let you guys fight it out.
Jazakallah khair.
All right, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.